that I don't have to do one side and thereafter. No, it's kind of tasky. Okay. So how do we implement change by the special grace of God? Most especially in Nigeria, there are things because a lot of you complain. Sometimes, let's say this time they did not actually blame the body of Christ. Okay, a lot has happened whereby body of Christ have been blamed, and also a lot of people are writing, they are typing all over the world. You see, people complain, they speak, and they end their opinion. Okay, it's good, there's nothing bad about that, but it's not just about staying behind your keyboard and you're typing. So in your view, listening, like there are some capacity that you have developed as an individual. Let's say if you base in abroad, let's say those in UK, like UK, Canada, and America. There are people that seems they always tend to hide themselves and say, "Oh, this is none of their business." And sometimes they will eventually be the one to go back home and enjoy. They want to go home and free Africa. Let's say, for instance, now Anthony Joshua, we have been sad, feeling bad. Just few weeks ago, we celebrated him. And I saw some of the video that he has been traveling down to Nigeria with his team. Unfortunately, look at what happened to him. It's like, it got done on every one of you that the issue of, insecurity and the way things have been going, the majority of people feel unconcerned because it doesn't bother you. Rather, you feel, oh, it's none of your business. It's not going to be your children. It's not going to your children in abroad. But look at Anthony Joshua, despite all that he has achieved, British citizen still went back to Africa, went back to Nigeria. Isn't that a huge concern? Like, this is what what Scottish we call a very huge consigning. This is consigning. So if Anthony can go back to Africa with his friends after winning, the boxing stuff and all that, so he decided to, go back home in Africa to celebrate with his friend. And with those videos that I've seen, he has been going home before now. So don't you think that you and I, we really have to do something? So how do we implement change, especially those of you that reside in abroad? Those of you that type, because I read comments a lot. People tend to write. People keep writing, writing, writing. They've got view, they've got idea. You don't step up. The problem is that you don't speak. You are afraid to speak. You always type. You typing, you're sending messages. Okay, I understand. It's not everyone that will speak. I understand some people are good in typing. So what do we do? Really, I want to know, is it that if Anthony Joshua can go back home, what do you think is going to prevent your child and my child, my children and your children not to go back home to Africa? Let's say they are say, oh, let's say the men, they always wish to go back to Africa to settle. So what do you think, what makes you believe that your child one day that we will not get rest and pick his friend like Anthony Joshua did and said, okay, I want to, like I was telling my children today, Ogun State is Yoruba, but Edo State is where I come from. So there was a day someone asked me in Scotland, what part of Nigeria are you from? I said, yeah, even if I'm a European citizen, I know where I come from Edo, Benin City. There is no mist. He said, oh, I've never heard of that. I said, really? You have never heard of Edo, Benin City? That is a joke. But that very day, I was privileged enough to introduce myself properly where I come from. So, what make you think that your children will not go to Africa tomorrow? As time goes on, that they are tired or they just want to have a different setting, different environment, different system. or rather they have heard a lot about Africa. They just want to see the way it plays out and all that. So what provision? What do we do? So imagine a British citizen, Anthony, if he can prepare himself with his friends and travel down to Africa. One day your child, although my children they have visited Africa, we are still planning by the grace of God. One of these days we will still go and visit there. So you that is complaining, there is no emergency setting, first aid, responder, all these things. Do you really think that Africa have the idea? Let's be frank, because some of us, we came here to learn. There are things that some of us came to abroad to learn, and majority of you people are really like annoying me, especially those of you that just come online and just speak those things. You speak as if, like, honestly, those of you that type, those of you that just speak these things, you are in abroad, you are not reasoning, you are thinking as if that, oh, Africa should have done this, Africa should have done that, there's no emergency response. Even you don't even know what is emergency response while you were basing in Africa. Those things you are talking about, you see why I'm so pissed about some of you now. It's something that you learned here. Even some of you learn English when you get to abroad. Yeah, the European, especially for me, I would say thank United Kingdom. All right? Thank Vienna, thank Austria. All right? Okay. You get to learn those things. The most annoying part is that you came to this country to learn those things. Those things you were measuring, like, is when you came to abroad, you knew what they are. So you are talking about medical system, a very good one at that, was after you came to abroad that you got to know that there are sound medical system. So my question to you now, your children are schooling, like what they call maybe someone that is here, if you are here, like you base here, home base, there are some certain figures you don't have to pay. I studied here. I know the amount that was like the Scottish, they pay for my tuition, thanks to Scottish government. But my niece who studied the same course paid the over 70,000 pounds. So we have students accommodation that is all okay. Let's say for a semester, you are expecting to pay like 4,000, over 4,000 pounds. It's very expensive. You still have to pay. Let's say we base in United Kingdom. Let's say where my daughter study, the university is different from where we live. So people are still paying, but the people who are coming from Africa, they will pay the tuition, they will still pay for accommodation. Do you know how much that is? Even we here today, we are just coming back, like, so you have to pay in block, not just like you pay. Do you know how much that is? So those things, but glory be to God, the tuition fee, they are covering it, but there are people that they have to pay this. I knew a lady that would work, like she paid, do you know how much she have to pay to the government just for her to be able to stay in this country? As at then, she was working night shift. Do you know how many women, not there are some men, but women from Africa, though especially those that came with COS, do you know what they are going through in this country? Do you know how much they don't sleep? Those women that, let's say they are dependent, they came with their husband came to read to read their masters here in United Kingdom. Do you know what they are going through here? They don't sleep. There are some of them, they work 5 nights. They do 5 nights. That is 5 days a week, night shifts. They will have to raise money. Sometimes there are still some of all those individuals that they have, those negative ones. Some of their husband will still take this money. They will send it and misuse this money. After the woman have gathered this money just to pay for the COS. So those are the things that are going on. Like, you still have to pay. But the good thing is that when you are here, there are still some that just because you stay here, they will still give you that leverage, that opportunity, and say, okay, don't pay for the tuition. They cover the rest. So you are now here in comment section. You are typing. You are speaking. In fact, now my question is that how do you now want to implement those things to Africa, in Nigeria? So honestly, someone said there should be, emergency station in each community. Yes, fair enough. If anything should be happening right now, if immediately you get in touch to ambulance, they're going to send you just few minutes, maybe less than 7 minutes. You will see a Samaritan will be here with you. Before the ambulance will come, they will attend to you. In fact, most at times, you might not even go to the hospital because they have attended to you. Is that not something great that should be in every community in Africa? So tell me, does attorney friends, do they deserve that? Do they deserve that kind of treatment? Like two headable men gone like that? Is that something you should be proud of? Is it that they are criticizing Nigeria? Is it something? It could have been anybody. So now, auntie, uncle, typing, maybe you don't want to speak. What is the way forward? How do we implement those things that you are enjoying? How do we implement it in the African society? That when such casualty happen, there are response, immediate response. Not area boys try to maneuver things. So let's think, because those things you are shouting about, you came to notice them in abroad. You learned them resuscitation, first aid training. We that operate in social services and social care, we got to learn those things in abroad. I did not did any first aid training while I was in Africa. No. So why are you comparing? I don't know, because it seems that some of you just want to talk. So now we shouldn't just talk. Let's join hands together. Because you think the government should know better because they are coming to abroad to take treatment, eat. How will they know better than you? It's not possible. You are here in this country. You are the one that sat in the mainstream and learned and studied. You understood everything. You are the one that should push, that should implement those things. Rather, that should teach them the way to go. And this is why we impart lives. How do we impart those things into the system in Africa? You need to rise, because some of you will be consuming. All you take, and the next thing you just went to comment section, you explode everything there. It's like all what you have learned, majority of you, where you just take it to is through comment section. You don't impart, you don't, like in this global organization, you have not even showed up. Maybe when there are things like that, you feel, oh, you are too special, you are too educated, you know too much. All what you knew is that someone sat you down, perhaps a lecturer that is even, like some of my lecturers are older than them. They sat you down and cascade education and wisdom into your head. You believe that you know a lot now. Then you are arguing in comment section. So you believe that someone who has not experienced such education should know better. You are typing on your comment section. They would have done this, they would have done that, they would have done that. Aren't you supposed to stand up? We that are in abroad, how do we implement those things? So first aid, ambulance, we have men and women. Majority of us, by the special grace of God, we've got this leverage, this opportunity to do things. God has helped us. Why can't we come together? Sometimes those Nigerians in abroad, you don't even have unity. You cannot even cope with yourself. You can't even accommodate yourself. Those of you that even speak, that even criticize African people, you are educated, but your attitude, you don't even accept one another. Your fellow sister will even say hello to you. You cannot even say hello back. But you are in the comment section trying to speak as if you know too much. So if you know at that, why can't you come up with idea? How do we implement those things? Or rather, how do we work with the government to enlighten them? Because those people, for my best of my knowledge, they are still in Africa. And I've never seen where the UK or America or Canada, let me say America and the UK, send, maybe let's train them, the road safety. So here in United Kingdom, there is a police. Their work is basically a road safety police. They are here in Scotland. There was a day, then I went to projects. I was so tired that very day. I went to hospital to supervise somebody. Then I spent a couple of time there. So on my way back, I was so tired. Like, when you're in the hospital, even if you're sitting down, you are not allowed to sleep, and you just have to sit and watch and supervise individual. So after that, I was so tired. I was really exhausted. And I was supposed to close by 9. I ended up closing around 11. So meanwhile, I needed to eat. I needed to just get home as soon as possible. And I love to drive by the special grace of God. This is how I was just driving. So on that very day, because I just wanted to get home, it's not that I didn't saw the police. I saw them, but I was just doing my stuff jejely. So immediately, someone were just at the front, and they gave the police the sign that should they go. I told them, oh, it is your right, because by the grace of God, I understand the people's rights and the driving rights and all the signs. I understand. No, who is wrong, who is right. So I was at the right side. The police was just at the back, at the right. No, I was around the right. Police was at the left. Those are safety police. You might not even know, even though there are, meter that there are camera everywhere. There are still police that, safety police. They are still watching. By the time you see police, you will behave yourself. You see everybody tranquil, be driving responsibly. So those are the things we should bring to our society. Those are the things we should enlighten, we should be speaking about. Things that will change. By the time they hear your view, they will be able to implement this. I'm talking to educated uncle and auntie, that you are always educated. Your education is only for TikTok boss and comment section. It's not above that. So I'm telling you, speak on how you can implement change. Speak on how those things work in abroad. So not just, oh, in abroad you see this, in abroad you see that. No, how do you implement it? Because you people are educated, and your education only ends in comment section. So I'm telling you now, there is police safety. Nigeria can also, as well, let's say, just employ safety police to be guiding people in case someone is over speeding. So that very day, let's say, instead of 4:30, I was so tired. As soon as I moved from that runabout, UK is always runabout. As I pressed my car, I pressed it to 40. That's how police chased me. When I sighted them, I said, oh my God, what is this? Is it people are following me? I want to go home and eat. Then I stopped. Again, I looked back. I saw the police was doing like this. Then again, I started driving. Oh, this is how they ran after me again. When I saw that this thing, there is actually me that they are coming after. I just find a good place I parked. I said, officer, what is it? What business did I have with you? They say, madam, one, somebody asked them if they should pass. I just told the person to go. That is an offense. I say, hey, God help me. Because sometimes there are things you might think that you are right. And as I was about to tell them that no, the guy was right, I needed to wait for the guy to move ahead. They said yes, they know their right, but the guy did not ask me question. It was then that the guy asked question. Being as somebody who made decision 247, especially when I'm alone or guy is not there, I'm now the boss to make decision. Me forgetting that the police are there, even that guy is not with me, police are still there to make the decision. So the decision they were supposed to make, I was now so fast forward to tell the guy to drove off. They say, that wasn't good. So the best thing, and they now said, after I drove to, instead of 30, to drove that fast up to 40 was terrible. And I said, please, definitely there is a law, there is consequences, but they made me to understand. And what they emphasize on that very day, that they are doing their job. That was time, I think there is this guy in Manchester from Portugal. What is his name again? That was the time that guy lost his life in Spain, just during that week. So the police was emphasizing that they are controlling. That is their job. Safety police officer, to protect individual, against casualty, especially when you are over speeding. The camera is there, the police will run after you, they will stop you. They said if you don't behave, they will take you to court straight ahead. So those things happens in functional society, but you can't just expect this suddenly to take place in Africa. But you are here, you feel you are secure, you are safe. One day you might still go to Africa. We know, no, I have never seen any African man this abroad that is not talking of relocating to Africa. It's only the mothers, maybe the children, they will tell you no, they are not going to Africa. But you see, all the African men, all of them, both the ones that have bought house in abroad, they still have houses in Africa, not one, not two. So their retirement home, this one that they bought here in abroad, it's not their retirement home. Oh. The one they want to retire is the one they have. Depends of the village you come from. Like Attorney Joshua is Ogun State, Ibadan. We have that in Ibadan, but we are Benin, Lagos and Benin. Okay? So you want to retire. If you're not planning to retire, your husband is planning. One day, there was a girl, I think her name is Ifunanya, that saved the dad last time from the hands of the siblings. So our people, educated uncle and auntie, how do we implement those things you enjoy, that you feel that is lacking? Because it's lacking, it's not there, whether you like it or not. The system do not have those things. They lack it. It is not there. You can blame them, you can talk, you can attack, you can do whatever you want to do. From that in Jesus Christ will come. But the thing is that how do we implement those changes? How do we implement those changes? Those things that you have learned in abroad, how do you implement it? Because you can't just say, oh, Africa don't have this. Look at healthy men, able men that just gone that way. The guy that happened, is it not Jericho? Somebody Jericho. That was July this year. Portuguese guy that plays stays in Manchester, Liverpool. He now died in. He had an accident in Spain. So that time, a lot of people, you see, check up, control. So the system are working. People like you and I change the system. So for you, how are you changing the system? What is your own, take in changing the system? So how do we implement those things? It's for us to come together as one body. There's something called joint body in health and social care. They come together to ensure that society, vulnerable people are being cared for. they work hand to hand collaboratively. So how do you think, in fact, they make things happen. So what are you thinking? What is your take? What is your idea in making things work in Africa society? You just stay in abroad, perhaps you're in America, especially those who are in UK, those who are in America, those who are in Canada. They talk too much. They just come, they just be twisting what are you doing? How do you implement this? How will you implement this? Yeah. Anyway, thank you everyone. So I want to know from you how you can implement this. And I pray tomorrow, guys, join me on this crossover, crossover tomorrow. We will start 10:30 by the grace of God. So we'll look at, my message today was going to be, your expectation, your expectation, your expectation will not cut short. Okay, those guys who went to Africa, their expectation was cut short. I'm here, you are here. Is it that we are too smart? No. Is it that they did not do the right thing? Some people said it was over speeding. Some people, you are judging, but what actually happened? But whichever way you will see it, their expectation have been cut short. But let's see, by the grace of God, tomorrow, how we will dive into scriptures to pray that my Lord, my God, our expectation will not be cut short by the special grace of God. Amen. Thank you, Facebook. I have to end it now. God bless. Bye for now and shalom. So, guys.